right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. This is Pastor Dow. I hope my mic is doing better now. I had to make a few adjustments there. And plus I have Brother Juan Gure is actually going to be helping me set up a system because definitely the mic needs attention. But anyway, let me go ahead and fill you in on the happenings, what's going on here in the United States as well as the world. Now, I think it's very important that we get the right information out to us, and you need to know exactly what's going on. Let's start in China. Number one, China has imported 775 tons of gold in 2012. Now, most of us don't understand what that means. Let me explain this to you. China is positioning themselves with sound money to become the world's #1 reserve currency, and everybody else is going to become subservient to it, and that's all it is to it. They've been posturing themselves like this for a long, long time, simply because our policymakers here in this country will not change what they're doing. They won't change their mind. They won't change what they're doing, and they're not going to stop what they call their policies because they're sick. They're sick in their mind. Scott over at the Hyper Report reports that food stamps and aid for food stamps is going to be reduced by $50 in Ohio. We can expect more of this reduction to continue to keep on coming, especially from government, because, hey, when you're bankrupt and you don't have any money and stuff, hey, that's the only other way to function is return. You know, we have to have austerity measures in this country, and everybody's going to feel the pain. Everybody assumes that since Obama has got in office again that they're going to continue on with these government subsidiaries and these entitlements and all these programs and these handouts. But most of you people are going to find out that Obama is nothing but a puppet. And that's all the presidents are, nothing but puppets and stuff. They don't control anything. All they are is a figurehead. They have an illusion that they have authority, but they're actually working for their masters who have paid them off. The Telegraph over in London, European Union workers stage anti-austerity protests and strikes. Trade unions are staging a series of demonstrations and general strikes across the European Union to protest the austerity measures that are blamed for driving up unemployment and pushing down growth. Well, Europe is experiencing the same thing that we're experiencing over here, but listen to me, you need to keep your eyes on Europe. As a matter of fact, this is the telegraph.co.uk. You need to subscribe to that because you need to know what's going on over in Europe, because the crown is still the masters of the United States of America, whether you understand that, like it or not. And that relic that's called the Constitution, that only applies to the District of Columbia there in Washington, D.C. It doesn't apply to the whole entire United States of America. And that's the reason why people are so jacked up in their understanding, because people do not understand exactly what's going on. Just the other day I did a radio interview with Fabian for Liberty, and I was, was mostly speaking in general terms because I don't know his audience. I don't know the audience there. I don't understand his audience. I'm just there as a guest. And so I'm speaking in general terms to try to give people understanding of what's going on out here in the world. Now, there are predictions right now that within the next 3 years that silver is going to increase 400%. 400% in the next 3 years. Now, what that means is that silver's been hovering around $33, $35, something like that. And that means it's automatically going to make a jump to $170 an ounce. And it's going to continue to keep going up. Now, for those of us who got in early when silver was at $15 an ounce, even out the door, if you bought silver at $19 an ounce, out the door, that includes the markup for silver and everything, that's a very, very good buy. Even if you bought silver at $40 ounce, is a very good buy. Considering where it's going, all that's a very good buy. Believe it or not, this stuff is cheap right now. I know it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy even to me, because I remember buying silver at $4 an ounce, $8 an ounce. And I tell you, to sit and watch it from when I purchased silver at $4 an ounce, $8 an ounce, and now it's hovering around, but you're out $38 for a brand new Silver Eagle or Canadian Maple Leaf. out the door just for one of them right now. And to realize and to see the growth of that silver and stuff, because it's sound money. It's kasef. That's what the book says. It's utterly amazing. And we're getting ready to watch this thing next year make some extraordinary moves. Gonna put a smile on a lot of people's face. But all the people that has been in opposition against us and been pessimistic against us, and people who love speaking against us every time silver makes a dive, is utterly amazing. Now understand this: silver or money in this world, in this earth, hey, it would help you to have what you would call a good life in this earth right here. But depends on what you're doing, because what good is it to have money and hoard it, have the same attitude as the rich folks and the people out there who so-called, quote unquote, think that they know about money? What good is it to have an attitude to hoard it up for you and what you call yours, only when you're gone and passed on and stuff, that they're just going to argue over it. They're going to fuss and fight over it. They're going to basically just ruin themselves over it, because most people do not know how to handle money. But silver is not going to do anything. Gold is not going to do anything to preserve your soul, your eternal soul. Or it ain't going to do nothing for that. And so you have to have a good balance. But I tell you what, that's an increase of 400% in the next 3 years. And look how fast time is going. Time is flying by right now. It just seems like just the other day we was in what they call the market collapse of 2008, and look where we at today. It's amazing. But King World News is what's reporting that 775 tons of gold that China has imported this year. Every single year, China has increased their reserves of gold. And also remember, they also have started storing 770 tons of silver. Think about that. They're posturing themselves and positioning themselves, and they even telling their citizens to store silver and to stock silver, to stack up silver and gold. And America, you keep trusting in this fiat currency. You keep trusting in your so-called elected officials, and everything is going to be all right. Well, I don't believe that. Just the other day, I was in Bowling Green, and I was talking with Brandon up at Home Depot, and he was informing me how that there was this Baptist association that had, took their food vehicles up to New York, and they had enough food to feed 30,000 people for quite a few weeks. And they got turned away at the city of New York simply because they were not union. Can you believe that? I had some people, eyewitnesses accounts, that called in on a radio broadcast last week, and it's a literal shame that people are doing whatever they can to try to make profits off of other people's misfortune. You see, that's what happens when you have a nation of greed. A nation of greed. Enough is never enough. No matter what, it's never enough. But they were charging $10 for a book of matches. A little box of matches. $10. And listen to this. $50 for a gallon of gas. Unbelievable. Here in America. You see, that's why I keep saying over and over again, can you trust your neighbor? Are you sure you can trust your neighbor? Can you? Because when you got people making profits off of other people's misfortunes because they have, that's what's going to start this crossfire from hell. That's what's going to start, people, they're going to snap. They can't handle it. They're literally, physically going to snap because they can't handle it. Here in the United States of America, hey, don't you forget that we still got over 30,000 drones flying over America. And you're getting ready to see the United States of America tuck tail and run from Afghanistan, because we can't win that war. We cannot win that war. I don't care how much conventional warfare that we have, we cannot win that war. I mean, Alexander the Greek left there with a black eye. He couldn't win the war. And that was a long, long time ago. These people, I keep telling you, they function after a tribal mentality. And I try my best to explain to the people out there the difference between a tribal mentality and a citizen's mentality. And most of you don't know. You're going to know if you listen to me, but you're going to have to come over to Shabbat services and listen to me and to explain all these things. Because when you look at the Bible, what does it talk about? Does it talk about being a good citizen, or does it talk about the 12 tribes of Israel? And it's not Israel that many of you have been duped and deceived to think about either. But the Afghan children over there in Afghanistan, they're still dying every single day as collateral damage as these drones, so-called, are going after the terrorists. Ask yourself, why are we in Afghanistan if the terrorist is Osama bin Laden is allegedly dead? And why are we over there? I know what they tell you. Why did we go jack Iran? Why in the world are we in Afghan? Why are we still empire building? Why do we have a presence in over 232 countries, military presence in this world? What in the world is going on? Sounds like an empire to me. Sounds like the revived Roman Empire to me. Hey, I have Sister Bonnie. Sister Bonnie Bates out in California. She sends me something because, you see, most people are starting to have problems. When some people send offerings by electronic check, okay, and some people are having problems, and this is the reason why you're having a problem. The Congress passed something called, look at this, the Check 21 Acts. Means that all transactions must first go through, listen to this, the Federal Reserve Bank. And of course, this all took place, let me find the date. This all took place September 25th, 2012. And let me read to you what Sister Bonnie sent to me as a reply from her bank. All right, listen to this. Additionally, this Check 21 Act means that all transactions must first go through the Federal Reserve Bank. Notice it said all check transactions. A batch file is generated and sent to the Federal Reserve Bank for presentment, point settlement, or image replacement. If a substitute check is needed, the transmitting bank is responsible for the cost of generating and transporting it from the presentment point to the Federal Reserve Bank. And you can get that information at frd.org. Purpose of translation: to track all monies paid and the recipients. Notice, to track all monies paid and recipients. Now, Check 21 passed by Congress reads, the act to facilitate check communication by authorization substitute checks, to foster innovation in the check collection system without mandating receipts of checks in electronic form, and to improve the overall efficiency of the nation's payment system and for other purposes. Yeah, what is define the other purposes? Because you're nothing but bootlicking liars. All this is they want to know every single thing you're doing. So now all the banks, whether they be public or private, they all have to have their systems connected to the Federal Reserve System. And then they have an image file of the check. Just what they're doing is they're tracking every single thing that you're doing. That's why if you're going to send someone money, or if you're going to provide an offer or something like that, the best thing to do, still till this day, still is a United States postal money order. Because when you go there, they ask you how much. But you don't have to give out all your information. And then you can choose the information or the amount of information you want to put on the United States postal money order, or any money order as far as that fact goes. And then it can go out. And then they'll only have a record of, because, you know, when it goes through the bank, they're going to make an image copy of it anyway. Then they'll have a record of the actual money order itself, but not actually the recipient. You could put John Doe from hell, all you care and stuff on there and stuff, but as long as you have a letter in there. Then it goes on and says, now this is a response from Sister Bonnie's bank, as opposed to the reason why when she sent an offering to me, it got rejected. Because she's wondering, I mean, these people are people of impeccable character. I mean, they have a credit rating that's probably like 800 plus or something like that. So their self-worth is not in question. Our call center is notified to impact members direct. Artura is also following up with the institutions originating transactions that fail, providing the correct account information and requesting that they update their records for the future. We also recommend that members whose transactions were denied in error contact the merchants involved in those transactions to ensure that they have correct account information. If you need assistance with identifying the correct account number, please contact blase, blase, blase. This error was an unanticipated result of the Artura moving I'm going to slow down, listen to me, electronic transaction processing to the Federal Reserve on September 25th, 2012. Apparently, not all Artura account numbers were formatted according to the Federal Reserve requirements, and that's underlined, which caused the denied errors. Artura processes all transactions electronically, including deposits, checks, and electronic payments in compliance with the Check Clearing for the 21st Century Act, also known as Check 21. So it'd be good for you to go and check out, all this Check Clearing Act and this Check 21. And there's the information from the email right there sitting in front of you for Check 21. So when Ben Shalom Bernanke stood up there grandstanding in front of the so-called Congress playing a game, putting on a show for the American public, CNBC reporting and all the financial institutes reporting, and we're sitting there glued, acting like we're going to hear something and stuff, trusting in these bootlickers that they're going to tell us the truth. And when they say that they were going to buy $40 billion a month in mortgage-backed securities, in other words, we're going to buy up all the land and the international bankers, these people who sit in their sealed homes, living offshore and in other countries all over the place, and they're going to leave America back here to riot and literally destroy each other to the point we come to a third world country, and our country's going to move on this conventional warfare, and they're going to support the next ruling elite of the European Union. But anyway, I just thought I'd put all that in there. So when they said he was going to do that, that's more than meets the eye. See, all of this is stuff that is written in bills. It's called pork. That's written in bills that you and I, we never get to see until it's implemented, until it takes place, and then it starts affecting our lives, and we're sitting there thinking, what in the world's going on? What in the world's going on? I used to be able to do this. I had no problem doing this. Now, all of a sudden, why come I can't do this? So you see, no matter what, they're getting to the point where they're going to track everything. What you and I need to make sure of is that we don't receive no mark in our right hand or in our forehead. They ain't going to place nothing on my body. That's the reason why you people need to stop this tattoo mess. You need to stop that mess. Because what they're doing is desensitizing you to receive a mark in your right hand on your forehead. And they're going to call it tracking information. And they're going to dress it up, make it sound real good, and make it seem like it's something positive for you. That's why it's important for you to have a pastor, to listen to a pastor, and to support a pastor that has enough intestinal fortitude in him that will get out here and speak truth to your conscience regardless. It is. It's very important, because most people are not going to do that. Most pastors are concerned. They're mostly wolves, and they're only concerned about themselves. They're not concerned about the flock. We're forced into change, whether you like it or not. We're forced into change. I'm sorry that this video is a little bit long, but I wanted to go ahead and get it out to you. You need to know these things, and you need to know that they're going to have an effect and impact on your life. I hope that you have a wonderful day. I hope that you go back and listen to the interview I did the other day with Fabian for Liberty, and check out Fabian for Liberty, as well as JSNIP4. And remember, we have a brand new social media network, myself and JSNIP4. It's called freespeak.net, freespeak.net. Go over there and check that out and sign up. So at least we can do whatever we can to preserve some of our freedoms and liberties in a world gone literally mad.